Hey guys, I wanted to come on and give you a quick reaction to the Nikki Haley announcement that at this Hudson Institute event that she is going to be voting for Donald Trump in November. I think that there is a political discussion that we should have, what are the political implications of this, and also talk about the merits of her arguments. So I want to get on to the merits of her arguments first. She starts by saying that she wants to support a president that is going to stand with our allies and be hostile to our enemies. So that's literally the first thing that she says she wants out of a president. And the idea that somebody that believes that could then turn around and say, I'm going to be for Donald Trump is absolutely asinine. Our allies hate Donald Trump, unless you're just talking about Israel, unless you're just talking about Bibi Netanyahu. And that's the only ally that you're talking about. Who else are you talking about? That Donald Trump alienated us from Europe, alienated us from everybody in NATO. Donald Trump is loathed by leaders across the Southern Hemisphere. All right. I guess maybe you're also talking about MBS. Is he an ally? I guess if you consider MBS an ally, then maybe MBS and Bibi are the ones that are the most for Trump. But Donald Trump is locked at the hip with potentially our greatest foe, or one of our top two greatest foes, at least right now, Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump ran interference for Chairman Xi while they were covering up the coronavirus and how that got out of their shores. Okay, Donald Trump was he was talking about how much he trusts Xi. Donald Trump writes love letters to Kim Jong-un. What are you talking about? That I think he was I'm for people that support our allies and oppose our enemies, and so I'm for Trump. That's nonsensical. You're just in this deluded world. If you only care about Israel, maybe you could argue that, though. I think Joe Biden's been a reliable ally to Israel, as we've talked about many times in here. I think sometimes you can tell your friends have gone a little too far. Joe Biden isn't sympathetic to Hamas. Listen to Joe Biden's rhetoric. This is you can just tell this is post hoc rationalization stuff, and this is a stupid bubble that she's in. Then she talks about closing the border. Okay, whatever. I think that child separation was one of the most disgusting things that's happened in this country in my lifetime. So, but if you like Donald Trump's border policies, all right. And he's planning to deport 15 million people. So if you think that the federal government bureaucracy is going to do that in a way that's clean and humane, then all right. Or maybe you just don't care about that. Maybe you're fine with putting people on buses and into camps and all this shit. Maybe that's what Nikki Haley's for now. I don't know. But okay. Then she's like, oh, I want somebody to be for capitalism. Again, this is just brain rot. The Joe Biden's against capitalism? Since when? The capitalist system right now is thriving. It's booming. Companies are making record profits. We're drilling record oil. What do you mean? Joe Biden's hostile to capitalists. He's been a catastrophe. What are you even talking about? Show your work. Show your work. All right. If there's some regulation that you don't like, that's the reason you're not going to be for Donald Trump, then tell me what that is. But this blanket Fox News brain rot crap about how Joe Biden's against capitalism is insane. Okay. So the merits of her argument are stupid. Unfortunately, they're going to resonate with a certain type of person. So we're going to have to keep talking about it around here. But I think the politics of this are such that I don't know that Nikki Haley endorsing Trump helps Trump all that much. I think she could have helped Biden a lot, because I think that there are a lot of people that share her views. And just backing up a little bit, among those views are those that we just listed on policies, but also the view that Donald Trump is unfit. Nikki Haley, I was there. I was in New Hampshire. I asked her in a gaggle about whether or not she thinks Donald Trump is fit. She didn't answer the first time. And I asked a follow-up. And I was like, well, are you saying that you don't think that he has the character to be president? And she kind of smirked at me and again didn't answer. And I was like, so we're going to take that to believe you don't think he has the character. And she, to her credit, then said, yeah. So a person that said to me to my face in New Hampshire that she does not believe Donald Trump has the character to lead this country, that she thinks that he's unfit. She said that before. The logic doesn't make sense. All right. If you really break it all down, the logic doesn't make sense. But we have to break it all down because of this. There is a category of voter that is in line with Haley on everything they said. They want the United States to be strong with our allies and to be hostile to our foes. They want a secure border. They support capitalism. They also think Donald Trump doesn't have the character to be president and is unfit. Many of those people are already Joe Biden voters. And that's the big thing about this Nikki Haley endorsement. We're really only talking about, people are like 30%, 20%. We're really only talking about like 5, 6, 7% of people that are really persuadable, because a big portion of Nikki Haley voters were Joe Biden voters that were expressing their hatred for Donald Trump by voting for her. They weren't Nikki Haley stans, all right, or Nikki Haley super fans. They were anti-Trump voters, and she was the vessel that they had. Had instead of Nikki Haley been on that ballot, had it been Larry Hogan or Mitt Romney or Tim Scott or whatever, they would have voted for them. Well, the pre-Trump suck up Tim Scott. You know what I mean? So those voters, Nikki Haley endorsing Trump, she's not moving them. All right. They've already rendered a verdict on Donald Trump. They don't think he's the character to be president, so they're not voting for him. They are matching their vote with their convictions. Now we get to this other group, which could be a decisive group. The 5, 6, 7% who are hostile to Trump and his character, who don't think he's fit, but are also traditional Republicans. They're unhappy. They wish Joe Biden was a little stronger with Israel. They wish Joe Biden's border policies were stronger. They wish Joe Biden had more free market instincts. We can argue the merits of all those points, but these are real people. They exist. Does Nikki Haley endorsing Trump help them move to Trump? Maybe, but these were already Trump people, right? So her biggest net positive could have been to endorse Biden to help move some of those people who are Republicans and have always been Republicans over for this one time. Now she's kind of giving them a person structure to stay with the Republicans. And so Biden's going to have to make a case to them. And he's going to make the case to them the same way he did at the State of the Union, by talking about how he's strong with NATO, how Donald Trump's going to be with Russia, all right? How the economy is improving in this country, and how Donald Trump is a threat to that with his 10% tariff across the board. That's going to have to be a message to these people. Hopefully we can win some of them over. It's going to be a big part of our work here. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to keep talking about it. Hopefully it starts to sink in. Nikki Haley, my final thought on her is, look, she's always been a political animal. All right. She thinks she has a future in this party. I think she's wrong. I don't think she does. But her calculus is that she's putting an end to her career as a Republican politician if she endorses Biden. I think that that's correct. And she wants to keep having a future. So she's going to keep her options open. And so that's why she's backfilling that rationale with some absurd logic about why Joe Biden is a catastrophe. So we'll have much more on this. Much more. But I wanted to give you guys a quick reaction here on the YouTube feed. And we'll be talking again soon.